At this time, we're about to have Senator Jonathan Smith come up to the stage. Senator Smith, are you ready? Can you follow that? Are you ready? All right. Senator Jonathan Smith, let's go. Constituency 28, Senator Jonathan Smith.
Thank you all. Thank you all so much for coming out tonight. What a great turnout. Well, Lawrence, that is a tough act to follow.
Hold up a minute. Before Jonathan goes, the driver of 09995 is parked in front. You need to move. You're blocking someone. Jonathan, back to you.
Lawrence, that is a real tough act to follow. My wife is here tonight. She has never seen me dance. And she's not going to see it tonight either. You know, I was sitting there thinking that some of you may not know that all the Warwick candidates actually have one thing in common. And Lawrence has now prompted me to say dancing is not one of them. Colonel Birch wore the green uniform. You all know I wore the blue uniform. Lawrence is a pilot. He wore the pilot's uniform. Mark, who's here at the back somewhere, a pilot as well, he wore the pilot's uniform. And even Brother Dale has been known to wear his captain's hat every now and then. And I know that's a bit of a stretch, Dale, but I had to just get that out there. All 5 of your Warwick candidates have discipline. All 5 of your Warwick candidates have leadership. And all 5 of your Warwick candidates will stand strong for Warwick Parish. You know, there was a comment online or in the newspaper yesterday that talked about this Reform Bermuda, and they put their word out there. They actually want help to name their new party, this Reform Bermuda group. But there was one interesting phase. They said that party politics is polarizing. They should come here. Because what's polarizing about bringing a family together with shared experience, shared values, shared beliefs, and shared aspirations about where this great country can go? What is polarizing about that? Having a room full of people who stand strong for what they believe in. That's not polarizing. So I have 2 stories for you tonight. It's not about coffee and pebbles, but it's just 2 stories. One of them is my story, which is real short, and then the most important story is your story. And as I've been canvassing in Warwick West for the last year, a number of people have asked me, knowing of my law enforcement background, they said, Jonathan, why did you get involved in politics? And my answer was very simple. When you do something for 27 years and you call that a day, you're drawn back to public service. So I'm here to serve. It's as simple as that. And then the second question has invariably been, why the Progressive Labour Party? And the answer to that has been very consistent. This is the only party that has the track record of social and economic justice. And it's the only party from its humble beginnings in 1963, the only party that has advocated at every opportunity fairness, justice, equality, and opportunity. The only party. So that's the end of my story. Now it's over to you. Your story is actually much, much more important, because your story is rooted in all of the freedom fighting that's gone on. And your story has advocated the fairness and justice and the opportunity for all those years. And that's what keeps bringing you back. Year after year, green after green, you're back. And that's why you come back, because you're still believing that this country needs to go on to great things. And what brings you back time and time again is because you share the movement for the people who were powerless. You shared that. And that's what brought you here tonight again. For those of you who were at the conference banquet a year ago, when David Lammy, the MP from London, he was here and he shared something with us. He made a very strong point about it. He said, we must remain the change agents. We must remain the change agents. And there was a message in that, because he knew Bermuda's story, he knew Bermuda's journey, and he knew the challenges that we were facing last year and into this year. And the other thing he said, which was really interesting, is Progressive Labour Party, you're going to find a more demanding electorate. And we've seen that. But don't be afraid. You must have the courage to face the demanding electorate. So I would ask you to look at your 5 candidates from Warwick. Look at the 5 men that you have that are running for seats in Warwick, and ask the question, are you confident they'll stand up? Are you confident they'll stand strong? And are you confident they'll represent you? So I'm here tonight to say that I am very proud to stand side by side with a team that has achieved much, but also a team that has much more to achieve. And if we were to write a short story tonight about just the last 7 days in the life of your Progressive Labour Party's government, this is what it would say. Just the last 7 days, we've once again announced another waiter-server program. We've provided an update on the drywaller program and the young Bermudians that are now skilled and working on construction sites. In the last 7 days, we've announced the next phase of the Job Corps. We've also announced the expansion of rehabilitation for those at Westgate. Minister Furbert's announced progress on our National Tourism Plan. Out of the Premier's office, we announced the 37th Tax Information Exchange Agreement with Singapore. We've confirmed that the Marsh Folly Restoration Phase 1 is underway. The Mullet Bay Playground has been completed. A new small Bermuda painting company has been contracted to paint the L.F. Wade International Airport. There are new garbage trucks. There's expansion of the EEZ Empowerment Zone. And Clarence Hill will be honored. And I'll digress for a minute and say the Clarence Hill honor that we have heard about in the last week came from one of our members. The idea was sparked by one of our members who emailed the MPs and members of cabinet and say, it's not too late to recognize the champion that we had in 1976. And it does just go to show how one little idea transmitted to your Member of Parliament makes its way to the Premier's desk, makes its way to the throne speech, so that Bermuda can once and for all recognize Bermuda's only bronze medal champion from the 1976 Olympics. So all those initiatives I just referred to is in 7 days of work of your Progressive Labour Party government. The last 7 days. Repeat that by 52 weeks in the year. Repeat that by every year there's been a Progressive Labour Party government. And this Labour Party knows what Labour means. It's work. It's hard, hard work. And we've been up to the challenge every day, every week, every month, and every year since first elected. But in a way, that's really yesterday's news, and elections, as we all know, are about what's coming tomorrow. So what does tomorrow bring? A party and a government that promises to deliver, has to deliver, and will deliver. So what we say we're going to do, I am proud to stand here tonight with a party that I'm relatively new to, I acknowledge that, and a government that will end conscription. And I'm also proud to stand here tonight with a government that will amend financial assistance regulations to allow seniors who own a home to qualify for financial assistance because they're in need. And I'll also stand here tonight proud to stand with government that promises to end the last vestiges of discrimination for our Bermudians on the basis of age and sexual orientation. We've also said we're going to continue to invest in job retraining. We're going to continue to invest in our young people like the drywallers and those who've gone through the landscaper program because they're being skilled up for jobs today and jobs tomorrow. The Premier, I know, is working extremely hard on behalf of our government to make sure that the much needed foreign capital that we need in our country, be it at Morgan's Point, be it on the Hamilton waterfront, being with her negotiations with the countries out in the Middle East, the foreign capital that she will deliver. We need that foreign capital in Bermuda, and we've got partners who are discussing with us. So I'm proud to stand alongside a government and with a government that understands that foreign capital is important, that understands that that becomes the spark for investment in our country and jobs for Bermudians. I'm also pleased as we look forward, because elections are about looking forward to the continued implementation of our National Tourism Plan, and congratulations, Minister Ferbert, for championing that. And we've also, as a government, committed, because we understand how the deprivation of the past and the unaddressed social needs of the past of decades ago have led to a lot of our crime problems of today. We understand those problems. And through the work of the Interagency Gang Task Force, we will make sure that will continue to deliver and continue to touch those in this country who need the help, and turn them away from a life of crime. We understand the problem, and we're committed, absolutely committed, to make a difference and make a change. And another part of your story that's kept you here and kept you coming back is the value in education, because we all understand how critical education is. And your government has been bold to put in place steps to reform education under the leadership of Dame Jennifer Smith. And there's more work to do. It's all about setting a new curriculum, and it's all about providing leadership in education and driving standards and driving results upwards. And we'll continue to do that with the next Progressive Labour Party government. And you heard just a couple of weeks ago, the Premier announced her 10-point plan for Bermuda, because you have every right as constituents in Warwick and voters in our country to ask us when we knock on the door, what is your plan? The Premier has announced her 10-point plan. We have a plan on all of the major issues, be it the economy, be it crime, be it tourism, be it transport, be it education. So you have nothing to fear. Your team is organized and your team has a plan to take us through the next 5 years. So I've just touched on what I think important aspects of your story is. Your story is important, but more important is when that day comes, is the choice you make at the polls and the direction you want this country to go. That's your choice, that's your story, and that's what you need to tell on election day.
Right. Yeah.
So Warwick, I just want to end on this note. Thank you so much for coming out. It's great to see the voters in the constituencies of 24, 25, 26, 27, and 28. And it's great to see that there aren't enough seats for everybody. Because what it does is it inspires us that our message is being heard. We will not let you down. Thank you for coming.
All right, Jonathan. This is Jonathan's theme song that he's not going to dance to.